Gujral of the Shiromani Akali Dal. Joining us, we have NDTV-phoolka in studio, author of a book on 84 riots and a lawyer who's also been consulted by SGPC on this case. We have Colin Gonsalves, human rights lawyer and someone who's been associated a lot with mercy petitions and cases like this. We also have Pinky Anand, another lawyer but also member of the BJP's legal cell. We want her perspective on what the BJP is thinking on this. G.N. Ratanpuri in studio with us from the National Conference, and Rahul Singh, writer and journalist, someone who's covered Punjab extensively. If I can start with you, Naresh Gujral. Today, Rajoana's letter is quite stark. He's very clear. He rejects the Shiromani Akali Dal's efforts. He says he accuses the Shiromani Akali Dal of playing politics. How does the party respond?
The party's main response, or rather the government of Punjab's main response today, is to ensure that peace, tranquility and the basic fibre of Punjab, the Hindu-Sikh unity, the feeling of brotherhood, that does not suffer. Punjab has suffered for years during the stage of militancy. We don't want to take Punjab back to those horrible days. The ground reality is that a large section of our youth is highly agitated over this issue. Tempers are running high. And we are scared that our neighbors would love to fish in these troubled waters.
Yes.
We want to keep peace and tranquility in Punjab at all costs.
Mr. Gujral, you say that, and perhaps a lot of the other political parties also fear that, which is why everyone, when we spoke to other politicians of other parties also in Parliament, they didn't want to make too much of a comment about this because they said it's a very sensitive issue. But what many people also point out is that since it's your government there, isn't it your responsibility to also ensure that, you know, the criminal justice system goes on? If the court has ordered hanging, it goes on, and also maintain any kind of law and order situation, control any kind of law and order situation that might arise as repercussions of that law being enforced?
First of all, let me tell you that this murder was committed in Chandigarh, and the prosecuting agency was CBI. So Punjab never really comes into the picture. After he was convicted, they send him either to Punjab, Haryana or Delhi. He happened to be sent to Punjab. So our government has no role to play in this.
Okay. You have also got involved with this thing about, you know, you have consulted with the SGPC on this entire matter. A lot of people seem to feel that these things that the Akalis are now saying, that, you know, there are lots of technical glitches as well, and also even the jail superintendent who had objections, that's been thrown out by the court as well. As a lawyer and as someone involved with this case, why do you support the cause of clemency? Mr. Phoolka.
One, Sunitra, two things in the beginning. I am basically against the capital punishment. Many countries have abolished it. India has not, but I am against it. Number two, I am strongly in favor of the rule of law. These two things. Now in Punjab, what is happening today, like Mr. Gujral mentioned, it is not only the extremist or fundamental groups who are demanding it. It is the general people, the youth and the general people who have come on the streets. And why they have come on the street? Because they feel that double standards are being followed.
You don't think it's the political parties who are actually...
The political parties are forced to follow this line because of the people. If you see today, because I keep on getting the call the whole day, because I mean, it is really surprising that the way the people have come out. I mean, like Mr. Gujral mentioned, with the great difficulty, the peace has been restored in Punjab. And nobody would like this peace to be disturbed. And what do they say? Now, they say that double standards are being followed. Those people who have killed the innocent Sikhs, I mean, in Delhi only in the broad daylight, 3,000 Sikhs were killed. Yes. And the people like Sajjan Kumar and Title openly leading the mobs.
Mr. Phoolka, okay, I just want to clarify that. Does that mean, if you're talking about double standards, does that mean, just to clarify it, does that mean even, you know, it's been 25 years, more than 25 years also since the 84 riots. Does that mean that, you know, in those kind of cases, you're also demanding some kind of action, some kind of action in the 84 riots case? So are you saying even in that case, it shouldn't be carried out because it would again inflame passions?
No, there's absolutely no question of inflaming the passions over there, because that case is much more earlier. Now against Sajjan Kumar, let me tell you, in 1992, in the murder of 3 persons, the charge sheet was prepared and it is kept ready till today. It is not filed. When 1992.
No, sir, I understand that. Then there's not been that much action in the 84 riots case.
Yes, right.
But are you saying that by the same standard, I'm just trying to say...
I am only trying to say that by the people, by the youth in the Punjab, a normal person is agitated and come out on the roads.
Okay.
I am not. That's all what I am trying to say.
Okay.
That this is the reason they are...
Okay, we've heard the Shiromani Akali Dal's stand on this issue. Pinky Anand, if I can just get you in, as someone who's associated with the BJP, what is their stand on this? We haven't heard them speaking very clearly on this particular case. What is the stand? Can you just, make it clear for us?
See, I think ultimately, as far as the BJP is concerned, there is both. Ultimately, it's a political party, and one always looks towards the people to find a solution to the problems. And if you're talking about the people here, the people seem to be voting for peace and tranquility in the state. On the other hand, BJP is equally committed to the rule of law. So it is a kind of difficult situation in view of what is happening in the state.
So you accept
I think one needs to look at that. If you ask me as a lawyer, that's a different criteria altogether. Yes, yes.
So what line is BJP taking now? Because, you say that, and obviously you're being very candid in saying that it's a very difficult situation, because at the same time, while you're not really clear whether to support all these protests against the hanging, you're also pushing for Afzal Guru's hanging, right?
Absolutely. But, as I said, any political party, there's one very clear thing in the system. If the courts have decided that death sentence must be done, possibly there is no real way out of that situation. But if you go away from the entire pinnacles of justice for a moment, you find that the entire state is rooting against the death sentence. Then a crisis of sorts comes, because as far as the political party is concerned, it is looking towards its electorate, it's looking at the youth, it's looking, as everybody said, the youth is not only of one particular section, but across board, is looking towards mercy. So, I mean, as far as the political party is concerned, its loyalties are definitely towards what the demand of the people is. There's no question about that. This is a democracy. The party is elected by the people. All parties are elected by the people.
Okay. Colin Gonzalez, as someone who has been associated with these clemency petitions for years, do you find it ironic that the only time this is debated is when some political controversy is made, and not just the, not just an issue of whether there should be capital punishment or not?
Well, I don't know. In the particular case, as far as Balwant Singh is concerned, it appears as if there are issues of great importance and matters of great principle. Because Balwant Singh is not a criminal in that sense. He was very anguished. He was a young man, a spiritual guy. He was very anguished by what he called the killings of young Sikh youth by Bean Singh, the then Chief Minister. And he said there were hundreds of people tortured and killed in the Punjab. And he had to stop it in some way. And he felt anguish, and he felt pain, and he felt suffering, the suffering of the Sikh youth of Punjab. And then he felt the only way to do it was by killing Bean Singh. And he's not a menace to society. He doesn't require to be hanged.
But how do you make that distinction, sir? For us watching, we are not the courts that decided. And the court has passed its order. How does one make that distinction when a court has already decided that?
Well, in the present case, the Balwant Singh has not filed any special leave petition to the Supreme Court. And we are asking the Supreme Court, a body of lawyers, an independent body of lawyers called the Lawyers for Human Rights International, headed by Navkiran Singh, is asking the Supreme Court to suo motu look at the High Court judgment and see whether the judgment was correct in imposing the death sentence on Balwant Singh. That's all that we are asking. That since Balwant Singh has not filed an appeal, please do it suo motu, because it's a death sentence case. And if there's a mistake in the judgment, as we believe there is, then it will be a tragedy if the hanging is carried out on the 31st of March. That's all that we are asking.
And actually, what's going to happen? What's going to happen now that they have said that this is, if they don't carry out the hanging on the 31st, it's going to be a contempt of court, and they are refusing to do it. So what is likely to happen?
You see, first of all, that the jail superintendent was referring to the Supreme Court judgment Harwant Singh.
Yeah.
In this judgment, the Supreme Court has made it very clear, and this is a duty cast on the jail superintendent, that in case if any other convict is involved whose death sentence has been converted to life, it is the duty of the jail superintendent to inform the higher authorities and to inform the court. Now, in this case, the death of another convict, Jagtar Singh Havara, has been converted to life imprisonment.
Right.
So this is what the superintendent says. I am duty bound to bring it to the notice of the court. Now the court has to take a decision.
Now that the court has taken a decision, does he have to carry it out?
This is what he says that now he on that particular on this instance, I do not know what the judge says, referring into Harban Singh.
The judge has said that you have to carry it out.
Now the reason that the Punjab government is going into the High Court against that, probably that the judge has not said anything on this.
Okay.
On that, because this is the comparison on this, the Supreme Court has cast a duty on him. So he is duty bound to do it. Number one. Number two, what is the so synchronicity on 31st March? I mean, it should not be done in such a haste. I mean, it should not be like
it's
that.
It's not really haste. They've been waiting
5 years.
5 years.
No, but now since it is being done, this is the petition is there, it has to be considered, and I may also inform you that the two clemency petitions have been filed before the President of India.
Okay, that's brand new information. We don't really know that yet.
Now, one petition is filed by the Delhi Gurdwara Management Committee.
That's been filed today?
It's been filed today. Other petition was filed yesterday by the Shromani Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee. It was given to the governor to send it to the President. Now these two petitions are before the President. The President, according to the law, the President sends it to the Home Ministry, and the Home Ministry processes it, and the information is sent to the jail authorities.
Yes.
According to law, as long as this petition is pending before the President, a convict cannot be hanged.
Rahul Singh, you're watching these, well, it's intensely complicated, not just by the whole legal aspects, which of course we obviously know because there are so many petitions happening, whose jurisdiction. Mr. Naresh Gujral also pointed out that whether it happened in Chandigarh or not, CBI. Not only are there legal complications, there's also this whole game of, whether he deserves this clemency debate and this whole political issue. Everyone's saying that what will it do to the vote bank? How do you view it?
I respect Mr. Phoolka very much. I agree with him only on one point, which is I don't agree with capital punishment at all.
Okay.
But here is a man, we must remember, 16 other people died when he assassinated Beyant Singh, an elected Chief Minister of Punjab. What about Beyant Singh's family? Are we not thinking about them? They have suffered in all this. And this word clemency, I find very strange. Is this an innocent man that this word clemency is being used? He's a murderer. And also I find the role of the SGPC rather shameful and cowardly in the time when the militancy was on. They played a cowardly role then. I'd like Mr. Phoolka to respond to that.
And perhaps even Mr. First, should we get Naresh Gujral? Would you like to respond to that, Mr. Gujral?
I'm not going to respond to what happened 30 years ago or 25 years ago. All I can say is, for 25 years ago, what happened was shameful, that 40,000 innocent lives were lost. 5,000 Sikhs were massacred on the streets of Delhi. Not one man has been punished. I think that is the matter of shame.
Right, and also to the fact that he's bringing up
the role of SGPC, I think is irrelevant.
Not irrelevant. Not irrelevant.
No,
they played a cowardly and shameful role at that time.
But
the high priest played a shameful and cowardly role at that time.
No, but would you like to talk about what the SGPC's role has been right now, or what the Akali in this particular case or cases like this?
Mr. Rahul Singh wanted me to respond, if I may point it out, that the militancy started after Operation Blue Star and 1984 killings.
Yes, I agree.
The way it is openly being killed. When after that, what do you expect a religious body to be? Of course, they will support the victims. They will demand the justice. This is what the body has been doing. They have been demanding the justice. They have been asking for that the punish the guilty. This is what being demanded. Though there has been many people who say that they should have played a bit of proactive role. And the militants are also, I mean, these fundamental groups are also against.
Okay. Mr. I was saying one thing that everyone, Pinky Anand put it very clearly. She said that, you know, as a political party, it's a difficult situation because she says that there's lots of people. He's also mentioning that apparently we don't know whether it's all-round support, but do you believe that it affects the people over there that much? Is everyone going to be really, you know, affected by this? Do you think it will muddy the waters?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Why?
I don't think, I think the vast majority of Sikhs want to put this behind them. You know, it was a very sad period for the Sikhs. And I agree with Mr. Phoolka. There was a lot of people to blame for that. The government in power then was to blame for what happened. But that happened, and we put it behind us. But here is a man who has assassinated an elected chief minister. 16 people have died in that assassination, and the word clemency is being used for him. As I said, I don't believe in capital punishment, but I feel he should spend the rest of his life in jail.
The clemency is used because this is the term which is normally being used for the, it is actually a constitutional right. It's under the constitution. It's a term which is used only because of that.
It gives the impression that there is some...
Let me get Mr. Ratanpuri in. Sitting in the, you know, in Kashmir and this issue in Kashmir, are you all watching this very carefully? How do you think this debate affects the rest of the country?
Definitely we are watching it with keen interest because we have a similar situation.
Yes, with Afzal Guru.
We have vast sections of society in Kashmir believe that Afzal Guru didn't get the justice. He had no choice of lawyers. And his conviction is based on circumstantial evidence or a statement of conviction which he has retracted, this confession which he has retracted. The confession was made before police. There are people who are sympathetic to him, and we have to be sensitive to their opinion, and because we have a fragile peace after 2.5 decades. We cannot risk that.
Yes.
If vast sections of society believe that he was stronger, we have to ensure that they feel that he has not been wrong. We have to give him every chance. As Mr. Phoolka has said,
do you think this particular debate of Rajoana, this Rajoana incident, if the hanging goes through or it doesn't, whatever happens, do you think again it will revive this thing of cries of, you know, hang Afzal Guru as well? Do you think it will again, you know, make...
No. Yes, it can happen. Yes, if Rajoana is hanged, then there will be who next. But I believe, as both the gentlemen, Mr. Rahul Singh and Mr. Phoolka have said, capital punishment today in 21st century seems a part of medieval system of justice.
Yes.
Majority of nations in the world have abolished it. Unfortunately, India has not. खून के बदले खून, ये बहुत अजीब सा लगता है आज के ज़माने में. The people who are demanding that these persons should be hanged, they too teach their children. बच्चों को सिखाते हैं कि गुनाह से नफरत करो, गुनाहगार से नफरत ना करो. We are not eliminating sin by killing the sinner.
Yeah. Pinky Anand, why is it that, you know, today we have so many politicians from the Congress, from the other side also talking about the fact that they are against capital punishment. But why isn't it that when they're in power, when you know, this kind of issue is not there, when it's not a political kind of thing, why don't they do something about it? Why isn't that law re-looked at in, you know, in a cool kind of, with a cool head?
You're right. You know, I was just thinking in this spirit that capital punishment is a banner. It's a banner which is picked up from time to time by either by human rights activists to condemn it, to say it's barbaric. It is picked up by political parties, and at times varying versions of the same come out. In the present case, actually, in any case, let me tell you, I think this whole discussion possibly may be somewhat academic, for the reason that when there are mercy petitions which are pending for consideration, even though not at the behest of Balwant Singh, but at the behest of some of the religious groups or SGPC, etc., I think in those circumstances hanging would be unjustified, because you have to have resolution of that clemency. Clemency is an entitlement under law. It is under the constitution. You can't treat it lightly. If clemency issue is pending, and incidentally clemency is on somewhat different grounds. Clemency is on the executive power of the government to be able to take action to forgive what has happened, not to say it has not happened, one part. Secondly, I want to just emphasize on one aspect. We are talking about this gentleman, Balwant Singh, feeling very guilty about what he did, or feeling very anguished. But you look at what has happened. You cannot assassinate. We must be very clear about one part.
Actually, to
there
the
must be rule of law. People cannot
Miss
kill
Anand,
somebody else because they feel that other person has done something wrong.
His letter, on the contrary,
Yes.
his letter, if I can just, just read out some of the bits of his letter, he does not sound repentant. He just stands by it. He just dismisses all the politics. He says Akali Dal is party of mass blue turban men angry with their failure to bring the accused of anti-Sikh riots to book. And he said, don't need the sympathy of BJP, Congress or Balwant Singh. And, that's what he said. And he said the Shiromani Dal's attempts at clemency
you're
for
right.
these
That
pure
is
politics.
what his stand has been, that he doesn't require the support of any party or any religious group in order to support him. But what I'm saying is, we must come to one reality. A, that legal action should be able to take its own course. B, people cannot take law into their own hands and do any action, whether it is killing of an unpleasant person or of a dictator or of a tyrant. That action cannot be allowed in any civil society. 3, death penalty itself is only a banner where people flout it as and when they want to. And at this point of time, let me put it another way, Balwant Singh's punishment was commuted to life sentence. Would that also be protested against? Possibly. I mean, if the idea is that he is being wronged, then whether it is death sentence, life sentence or 10 years or lesser, the agitation may well be the same. But law will not change for that reason. Law has to go its own course. But in the present case, clemency is pending. In that circumstance, no court will permit hanging to take place.
And Naresh Kochal, your government has just come back to power. It's had this amazing victory. Do you think, why is this case, why is this issue so important to the Akalis in order to even, you're going to the president, you're going to the prime minister. Why is it so important to you? Do you think your voters will completely go against you if that happens? What is it that concerns you?
We are not looking at the voters. Elections are over. We are looking at Punjab and the people of Punjab. And we don't want Punjab to suffer once again. The anguish that it went through, it's the sufferance that it went through. 40,000 innocent lives were lost. We don't want to revisit that again.
So are you saying it has nothing to do with the Akal Takht's order last week? Are you saying it has nothing to do with the Akal Takht's order to the Chief Minister last week, asking him to save Rajoana?
Akal Takht gave their order to the party, and the party is following it. But what I am trying to say is that this issue is not about votes. This is about lives of innocent people, and we don't want to set fire to Punjab once again. That is the basic issue. We want communal harmony, and we don't want to get back to the days of terrorism. I can tell you one thing, the way tempers are in Punjab, it's a very volatile situation, and we will do everything to douse this fire.
But you don't think that if it goes the other way as well, Rahul Singh, would you like to?
I think he's using the word almost blackmail. Don't hang him, otherwise there will be Punjab in flames.
I respect the law. I respect the law.
Yeah.
I respect the law. But as Mr. Phoolka said, let's exhaust the law. Right now, his petition is pending. Let the president decide. I am not blackmailing anybody. I have a great deal of respect for the law and the constitution.
You see the streets of Punjab today, they are full. And you need to understand the psyche of the Punjabis. They are very, very emotional. You see the Punjabis, they can go in the freedom struggle, the maximum number of the killings and the sacrifices was given by Punjabis.
But Mr.
65 bar, 75
Mr. Phoolka,
is one bar.
we were led to believe that this is an issue which they voted a Congress government back to power as well. The one that they blame. So why is it still an issue? Why is this one man's case become such a thing that you think that Punjab will burn because of it?
No, it is. That's what I am saying. You go and see the streets of today. That's everybody is surprised. How come such a uprise? All of a sudden, it's a uprise. So it is not a matter of political Congress or Akalis, for that matter.
Yes.
For that matter.
No, but if they have even gotten over the whole 84 thing in forgiving the Prime Minister,
they have not gotten over the 84 thing. About 2 years back, a call was given by a small group on 3rd November. Call for a bandh in memory of those killed in November 1984. Total Punjab was closed. Total. It was only a very small group. So the people of Punjab are very, very
I
motivated.
believe it is unkind to term this as blackmail. These can be genuine apprehensions. And perhaps the architects of constitution have put this discretion of clemency with the president for such cases, such rare cases where hanging of a person can result in a bigger problem other than solving a problem.
But isn't it the political party's duty to perhaps control law and order and enforce the rule of law?
If political parties or the government feels that with all its might and all the wisdom at its disposal, it cannot deal with the situation and it can turn out of hand, they have no other choice but to try to avoid such situation.
Okay, Colin Gonzalez, if I can just ask you to, because you've dealt with a lot of these people.
Can I just add one thing here?
Yeah. Go ahead, Pinky Anand.
You know, one thing which I'm puzzled here is the question is that this would be a new ground of clemency. If the question of volatility or sensibility or sensitivity would come into question of a group of people or a state, you cannot have law as such stand to ransom. Clemency has a fairly defined kind of situation here, and it is hardly ever, rather never, exercised on the basis of what eventuality it might cause. That would be going away or antithetical to rule of law. Rule of law means, all right, you exhaust all remedies. If mercy petition is pending, let it be decided, but that will not be decided on the basis of what may or may not happen in Punjab.
And if Colin Gonzalez, if you can just tell us, since you have worked with so many people on death row, even the Dhananjay case or other things that we have seen over here, what do you see happening on Saturday?
Can I just go back a little bit? I find the phrase use of law and the insistence on the use of law very laughable. Because when Beyan Singh, who was called the butcher of Punjab, and his police force were torturing and killing Sikh youth in the Punjab, where was the rule of law? Where was the justice done to these people?
No, but aren't we going into a totally different context than a different debate? We are talking about...
Therefore, let me finish. Therefore, when people are put into a situation where the only way to stop a person's repression, massive repression, is to engage in the crime of killing that person, I think such cases stand on a special footing.
Okay.
And I don't think we should treat these people as common criminals.
What do you see happening on Saturday, Mr. Gonzalez? We have to wrap here. What do you see happening on Saturday?
I hope that his life is safe.
Heard by the High Court either tomorrow or day after.
Clemency. Everybody is speaking of commutation from death sentence to life.
Yes.
I think life sentence is a long enough punishment. As far as Balwant Singh is concerned, he doesn't want anyone to intercede.
Okay,
He's
Mr.
a spiritual young man who's ready to meet his master.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez. Mr. Gonzalez, last word to you. How far is the Akali, how far is the Shiromani Akali Dal willing to push this cause? Because the courts are quite firm.
The case will be heard by the High Court either tomorrow or day after. And they will take a call. They will look at all the evidence, they will look at all the circumstances, and they will take a considered view. And we will respect the law.
Okay, well, obviously this issue is definitely going to heat up more in the next few days, and we've certainly not heard the last of it. So thanks to all my guests, Mr. Naresh Gujral, H.S. Phoolka, Colin Gonzalez, Pinky Anand, G.N. Ratanpuri and Rahul Singh. Thanks for joining us this evening. Coming up after the break, the case of the